I've been acting since I was 2.5 years old. My mother put me on stage in New York City, where we were raised, my brother and I. And she was an opera singer, and so she put us in Hansel and Gretel. And of course, I ran off the stage screaming because I had stage fright and I was scared of the witch. So the next time she put me on stage, I was 8. I fell in love with acting. My mom went with it because she said, this kid is a ham. And I studied Shakespeare when I was in high school and in college. Went to Cambridge University to be a Shakespearean actress of the theater, you know. And I came back from England that summer. I said to my parents, that's it. I'm going to be a serious actress. And they said, okay. They said, there's not a lot of money in Shakespeare, at least not where we are. But if you want to get into film and commercials, print work, go for it. And I went from one audition to the other. Every cattle call, I would be rejected. Once in a blue moon, I would get something, and I was getting very frustrated. My parents said, you know, you're so good at like putting on wigs and mimicking people like they do on Saturday Night Live. Why don't you impersonate some people? That old black magic has me in its spell. That old black magic that you. And I thought, well, who's marketable? So I was in my acting studio one day with the other actors, and during break time, I'm looking through Showbiz magazine. It had just come in that Wednesday, and right on the cover of Showbiz magazine, it said Marilyn Monroe lookalikes wanted for contest. I said, that's it. I'm going to just give this a shot. And anyway, I didn't win. I didn't even place. Christina Oates won. And other people approached me and said, you've got something there. Keep it up.
While tearing off a game of golf, I may make a play for the caddy. But when I do, I don't follow through, 'cause my heart belongs to Daddy.
And my first acting job as Marilyn was in 1988. So that was my first, and here it is 30 years later, and I'm still performing as Marilyn.
For more, but my heart belongs to Daddy. Yes, my heart belongs to Daddy. So I simply couldn't be bad.
Well, since I didn't win that contest, they said, go in as Jane Mansfield. I said, who's Jane Mansfield? I have no idea. And they said, oh, trust me, you can pass for Jane. You've got the equipment. You can do it. So I said, okay, now I have a second character I can do. I'm like, is she marketable? Well, I moved out to California the following year, 1989, for Ron Smith's Celebrity Lookalikes, which was the big lookalike agency at the time. But I started doing Jane Mansfield first before Marilyn out there for a current affair. I had to reenact Jane Mansfield's death, which was really scary. But it was like, hey, there is a call for other bombshells. And so that's what I kind of just started doing, you know. And when I moved back to New York, I had lost some weight. My face got a little thinner. And they said, you know what? You remind me so much of Annie Lennox. And I went, well, I love Eurythmics. Are you kidding? So I'm like, I can't sing like her. If I could sing like her, you know, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be just doing recordings. But I thought, okay, let me work on Annie Lennox. And I did my first gig in 1990s, Annie Lennox.
Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the 7 seas. Everybody is looking for something. Some of them.
Well, then Dick Tracy came out with Madonna. And people said, well, she kind of has that Jean Harlow, Marilyn image there. You know, why don't you try her? So I started with Breathless Mahoney and then branched out into the Madonna, comb bra and ponytail from Blonde Ambition. And had a lot of fun doing Vogue because that was something I really enjoyed doing. Yeah.
Greta Garbo, Anne Monroe, Dietrich and DiMaggio, Marlon Brando, Jimmy Dean, on the cover of a magazine, Grace Kelly, Apollo G, picture of a beauty queen, Jean Kelly, Fred Astaire, Jim Robbins, Phantom Air,
people in the industry get a little put off by the word impersonator. It's not a bad word. It's actually, it's just as good as being a tribute artist or being a Dead Rainer lookalike. It's an impersonator, someone who really gets into the character and not just mimics them, but they actually do the acting. You know, you kind of just breathe air into this character. And, you know, for me, portraying Marilyn and all these other characters is an acting job. You know, people would come up to me and say, why do you want to be somebody else? Why don't you just be yourself? I said, well, if I'm just being myself, I wouldn't be acting. So... So when I got into this business of being a celebrity impersonator, one thing I do remember is that the whole reason I went into this is because I love to act and I love being in show business. And when I went to Ron Smith lookalikes, I remember the manager saying, this is considered the fringe of showbiz. This is not real showbiz. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not true. Because so many of us have gotten our Screen Actors Guild cards, got into AFTRA, have gotten into theater, Actors Equity. So a lot of people in our industry have actually used this as a stepping stone to branch out into acting jobs. So there's a lot of people out there that are still doing this. And for me, I have turned my Marilyn impersonation into a whole tribute show, 90 minutes, theatrical show from the beginning of her career till her death, and really showed why she's so meaningful and why she's still popular today. So I'm really grateful for impersonating Marilyn. And I'll always be grateful that she's saying, "Happy birthday, Mr. President."
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
Because I have gotten more birthday gigs than anything else. And that really does pay the bills. So I'm not going to knock that.
Thanks, Mr. President, for all the things you've done.
The last 15, 18 years,
Since year 2000.
I've gotten into AFTRA, SAG. I've still done acting with, little theater groups. I'm still developing new characters and developing Silver Screen Star, which is my main show and the main thing that I do now. In fact, I would say that's 85% of my work right now. It's my love, it's my passion.
But in addition to impersonating, you also have a business.
I started Camille Impersonators 12 years ago. And little did I know that I would marry a man named Leon. And if you put the names together, it's Camille Leon, and it's spelled just like the name of the company. I didn't plan that. That's just like kismet. I was one of the pioneers of Sunburst. I came to the very first Sunburst convention, and I've only skipped, out of these 16 years, I've only skipped 2 of them. I love Sunburst because I've gotten so much work from this industry. Just being there, meeting other people, not only just agents and event planners, but meeting people in the industry that are performing, because we've been able to network and we've actually grown as a family. I've made so many friends, so I'll always be grateful to Greg and Jackie Thompson and even Madison, because they have become our extended family.